Hello everybody, welcome to what is going to be the MCU 2021 in review. Yes, MCU and review rhyme. That was very clever wordplay. But what this is a show by the Contest Run podcast, so it's myself and Dan of Frontline MCOC, who you can find on www.frontlinemcoc.home.blog and on Twitter under the handle @frontlinemcoc. Dan, we're doing a bit of a weird one in this little episode, but I like it. I love it.
Yeah, MCU year in review. We had 4 movies. We had 4 TV shows.
Oh yeah.
5. Well, 5 if you count What If, right?
Yeah, that's that.
So a lot to talk about this year. This was the year that the MCU came to Disney Plus and gave us so much content to get us through this roller coaster of a year.
Oh god, yeah. There's been some stuff that was meant to be out in 2020, like Black Widow, and it's just kind of where do you start? Where's it shaking up the MCU? It's really shaking it. It's grabbed it and shucking it up so much. We started off with we've got various different categories, and we're going to start with our favorite MCU movie of 2021. And all of the movies of the year, we had Black Widow, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, Eternals, and Spider-Man No Way Home. That's correct, isn't it?
Yeah, that is, and we just spent an hour talking about Spider-Man No Way Home, and I think to no surprise, if you've already listened to that podcast, I have to go with Spider-Man No Way Home by quite a bit.
Yep, same. We're unanimous.
Check out that podcast if
Yeah.
you want to hear why we think that movie is so great. But what a way to finish the year with all the, we're going to be talking spoilers, all the Spider-Man showing.
And there's so much, as Dan pointed out, we've done a podcast devoted to it. I think everything worked in it. Cast, script, direction, even the what it leads on to, and that's a lot of things with Marvel films. Is like where they lead on to from
Right.
other films, and it's going to open up so many possibilities, especially in what we see is our current Phase 4, which started in 2021, and according to Wikipedia, so take it with a grain of salt, an endpoint of that is going to be 2023. So we still got Wakanda Forever and some other stuff in 2022. But yeah, I think
Doctor Strange and Thor.
Yeah.
And a lot going on.
Yeah, I think we're both kind of unanimous then of Spider-Man No Way Home. And not to say anything against Eternals, it had its bits that was kind of all right, but it's just, again, problem with that is a lot of stuff that leads on from there, like Blade and what's going to happen with Black Knight. Shang-Chi and Legend of the Ten Rings had its moments. I'm not going to say it's a bad film. I'm just going to say it was a good film. And Black Widow, I kind of felt like that was just put out as a thing just because they wanted to make a film around. Maybe it was part of the deal for Natasha Romanoff, Scarlett Johansson. That's it. Yeah. So I think we're definitely unanimous on which film.
We talked about our issues with Black Widow and being kind of a meh movie when that came out, and I'm with you there.
Yeah. I mean, that's good. Easy sell on that one. So favorite MCU series of 2021. This, I think, for me, is a lot harder than the film side of things.
This one is hard. Yeah. This one is really hard. Well, you go first. Which one did you settle on for your favorite?
I think I'm going to go with, because of the grounding and because of the sort of to do with the pacing, the characters, the way it was delivered and acted, Hawkeye, which again,
interesting.
And this was a tough one because I did Loki would have definitely gone to be my best, but I just love the grounding feeling, especially because I've been wanting something to so badly to fill the void of Daredevil being lost off of Netflix.
Yeah.
What was yours, Dan?
This one I batted this one around in my head a lot. I think all 5 of them were quite good in their own way. And it's tough for me not to go with Captain America and the Winter Soldier because I did really, really like that series. But I have to go with WandaVision because I think it was the most ambitious. I think they stuck the landing. It was the one of all of these series, it was the one where every week you're like, what are they doing? Like it was very addicting to speculate about. Like
Yeah.
and I think the 9 episode format really helped
Yeah.
versus like say Captain America. I think Captain America and Winter Soldier was pretty good as 6 episodes. I would have liked an episode or two extra of Hawkeye to let that breathe a little bit better. I think the 9 episode thing with WandaVision really, really helped them tell that story
Yeah.
the right way.
Yeah, I think we got some really kind of like pivotal moments from that series. I do understand that would have been definitely, if I was doing like top 3 for me, it would be going Hawkeye, Loki, and then WandaVision with it. Especially when you've got great moments of like the visions coming into the room and kind of fighting, and then go like, "Are you familiar with the
Ship of Theseus.
ship of Theseus?"
That was a great scene.
And a require elaboration. That's honestly that was great. And as well, having Agatha, and I think like that has standout moments about the way that Agatha Harkness was portrayed, and as well the kind of not meme culture, but the success of like the song after, and the you don't see many from Hawkeye. We're not hearing about there's going to be a Kate Bishop spin-off or this or
right.
this.
They're the the musical in Hawkeye, the Captain America musical, didn't go viral in the way that Agatha all along did.
Absolutely, and that I reckon off the back of that's the reason that the Agatha Harkness TV series was probably commissioned, because of the way that it hit, the way it was portrayed.
She had a breakout, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I definitely going to see WandaVision as a great. I hope they would consider something more with it, but I think now we're going like Elizabeth Olsen needs to be front and center as the Scarlet Witch and be doing movies as opposed to the TV series format to it. Is there anything more with the TV series that we could talk about? I don't think there really is, especially in 2021. So there's definitely, I don't want to say it, but if the Spider-Man No Way Home film was not released this year, I would have said the TV series were better than the film. But definitely the TV series, and I'm surprised they were so well written, they were well put together, and it's good to see our favourite characters back.
Absolutely.
Okay, MVP of the year, Dan. Character that had the best year. And would we say this is MCU and Marvel television series as well?
Yeah, I would say it's all same universe, so I think we can include them all together.
So what we're looking in these are going to be things like redemption arcs, strongest, best fight scenes, maybe becoming ourselves, gaining powers and stuff like that. Would we say, or would we see say?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say so. Yeah. Just who came out of this year better than they went in. And well, I'll go
Yeah,
first.
you go first, because I'm trying to think.
I am voting for Sam Wilson because he became Captain America.
Yeah, no,
that's a pretty big deal. He took up the mantle, and we're gonna see a Captain America 4 led by Anthony Mackie playing Sam Wilson as Captain America. So that tells me he had a pretty good year. And like I said, I really enjoyed the series. I just think, he really that was really a bright spot of all the series and the year for me is seeing Sam become Captain America.
Yeah. It's sad that a lot of characters seem to be kind of like down bad after the result of like what's going on. I mean, Loki, it doesn't what's going on with Kang and stuff like that. Sylvie has made her mistakes where she's done them. Vision's been resurrected from the dead, effectively, and has now kind of gone off and to do his own thing. So that's kind of a W. And even some of the Eternals as well are kind of like down bad because hey, that Celestial wants them back. And Spider-Man now has kind of got nobody. So I think like trying to find someone that's kind of up good. Bucky Barnes overcame a lot of his kind of programming, which has been great to kind of note that that's been the thing that he can get back on the straight and narrow and find friends and find purpose, which is good. There's also who did I have a moment ago? There was a Hawkeye, I guess, is kind of like has kind of rubbed off some demons that have plagued him for the last 5 years.
Hawkeye's had a good year, yeah.
But I think Shang-Chi has now become more powerful as a result, and I think he's in a place where, depending on what his future is he? I can't remember at the end of the 10 Rings whether or not he still possesses the rings or not.
Yeah, I still gotta honestly, I still gotta see Shang-Chi.
All right.
So I'm catching. I was trying to do that before this podcast, but I didn't get to do it. So
Okay,
I still
we're
gotta
gonna
see
say
that in the Eternals,
maybe he does, maybe he doesn't.
maybe there's 10 rings, Rich.
There's
What?
10 rings. I will. Okay,
It's all good. Don't worry about it. I'm not worried about the spoilers. But
I would say like
yeah, no, I think you could definitely make an argument, just the fact that that's a character that we're probably going to be seeing a lot more of, and his movie was well received, and they're getting a sequel, so I could definitely see Shang-Chi getting the vote for MVP of the year.
Yeah, I'll go. Do you know what? I'll go with Bucky Barnes.
Bucky Barnes.
Just
Bucky
because
Bucky had a good year, other than him losing his arm for a little bit.
Yeah,
he had a pretty good year.
Yeah, he overcame some stuff, and that's I guess that's the thing. Character that leveled up in 2021. Who would?
I mean, this is the one I got to give to Wanda, because she became the Scarlet Witch,
God,
and she went from being a kind of a bit player in the Avengers to being clearly one of the main attractions going forward. And I think you saw it just in general, like how big that show was, and like I think Elizabeth Olsen was like one of the top people searched on IMDb this year. Like, this was a breakout year for Wanda Maximoff, and just huge possibility in storytelling going forward, where she's gone from a throw-in to the headline with a lot of interesting possibilities, and appears to be like sort of the crux that a lot of this is built off of going forward with her and Doctor Strange.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's I agree with that one. She just became. It took Agatha to kind of to kind of click into that particular particularly what she is. But yeah, I think as well, like, Marvel have done a great job with the outfit, because it's kind of like it's their own take, but it's sort of their own take, but it's kind of like it's a great concept, especially because it looks strong, it looks magical, it looks mystical, it looks sorceress-ish. It's got all of the elements that we want to see.
She had some great costumes, in that show, and we get to see her in sort of the the Halloween episode in the comics version, and then at the end she comes into her own in the Scarlet Witch, the MCU costume, and we're going to be talking favorite moments of the year, just sort of her becoming the Scarlet Witch at the end of WandaVision, and that costume reveal, definitely one of the highlights of 2021 for me.
Yeah, I agree. And that leads me on to talk about the Rookie of the Year, of the best debut. And it just feels, for me, very right to kind of go like, is it Agatha Harkness?
You could you're allowed to make that pick, Rich.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Agatha was great in that show. So, and it feels like we're going to be getting a lot more of her going forward. And hey, she's even in our poll to vote in Marvel Contest of Champions to get her added to the game. So
yeah.
I don't think we haven't really seen another character from the MCU really get vaulted to that level as far as MCOC is concerned. So that's we're getting back to the tie-ins, but we haven't seen them really from the Disney Plus. So it would be cool if Agatha was our first.
Yeah,
I would like that.
The look that they went for is so striking and cool, because it's like the one that you see in the comic books with the big white hair and stuff. It's basically like it's particularly like a like for like swap, but it's given from an acting point of view. It's like it looks, it's a young person in like a younger person in someone's like older dress, but it just looks so good. We've got it on screen. I got a screen right now, and just looking, just kind of, it looks just so like dated, but again, mystical and magical.
Well,
the
she
dark
is supposed to be
hands.
like 400 years old,
I
right?
mean, yeah, that's true.
So she's gonna have a little bit of a retro fashion sense.
Yes, that's.
Yep.
I forgot about that. Is that what's your pick for?
I'm gonna go with John Walker. I
Yes.
thought a just a tremendous job of introducing a character. It's so hard to make a character that you're not supposed to like really, really interesting in the way that they introduced and developed John Walker, not as a villain, but kind of as an anti-hero, but also making him sympathetic
Yeah.
with the PTSD and us understanding his motivations, and sort of that he had been, put in a situation that he really shouldn't have been put in. I just thought they did a great job with the character and someone that I want to see a lot more of.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. That's a good point.
So he was my favorite introduction of the year.
Do you have any favorite scenes or moments of 2021?
Well, you're skipping villain.
Oh, I see villain. Okay, well,
Yeah, we gotta do villain of the year.
Oh, this is gonna be very tough.
This is tough. So I'm gonna give I want two here because there's been some good ones. My runner up is Zemo.
Oh yeah, that's good.
I thought Zemo, just anytime he's on screen, it's more interesting.
Yeah.
But I do have to give it to Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin.
See, I'm doing the same as you.
Yeah.
In a minute, I'm doing the same. Not, I don't. Is it going to be Zemo? That's the thing. I don't know what I'm going to give my runner up to Kang the Conqueror, and that's just because I like the way he was acted. I thought he was acted fantastically. I felt, even though it was only in for a little minute, and that's a sad thing about, you can't really kind of. He was only in for a moment, but his ripple effects were kind of like felt elsewhere. I liked the way it was kind of like, it was all very mysterious. Wasn't quite sure what was going to go on, but he was definitely kind of like a villainous character in that moment. But yeah, you're right. William Dafoe's acting in Spider-Man: No Way Home. If you haven't seen the film, he's just brilliant.
Yeah, he's tremendous, and he just he does such a good job. He's so menacing, and like we talked about in the podcast where we talked about Spider-Man: No Way Home, just getting him out from behind the mask and letting him use his whole face. Just let that man work, because he knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
he knows how to get crazy across.
Yeah, because he puts his the bridge of his eyebrows in, like he's doing a scowly face, and he'll then bring down so he's got just his teeth showing, and it's just like it just looks like the Goblin, or being quite Goblin-esque.
They don't have to do anything cheesy with him. They don't have to make his eyes green. Like there's just such an explosion when that guy goes into angry mode.
Yeah.
That it's just crazy. And yeah, he was just, in a film that had a lot of impressive moments and has a lot of great actors, when you're being like, okay, like you stood out amongst all of that greatness. That's when you hit it out of the park. So
yeah.
Good job, Willem Dafoe.
Yeah. Amazing.
Favorite scenes, like getting back to Kang, like the reveal of Kang and that conversation, and is it really Kang? And sort of getting into the history of Kang and slowly peeling back the onion and realize, nope, that's really Kang, and just him messing with Loki and Sylvie, like just that scene in a vacuum was absolutely amazing, and just a huge payoff.
Yeah. I have so much high hopes for what's going to be the future with that, and because he's in Quantumania in 2022 with the sequel,
in the Ant-Man movie.
Yeah, Ant-Man movie. Yeah, that is hopefully going to see him in more like, whether or not he'll get the suit, whether or not he'll kind of like be Blue Man, whether or not it'll be whatever it be. It's going to be still incredibly exciting to see what the future holds for that character. I'm just trying to think of some other like key moments from some of the other
You
things.
know, I think a lot of this this year was about like new costume reveals. Like I think that first look of Sam in the Captain America
Yeah,
suit as he sort of, he throws the shield, he breaks through the glass. Who are you? I'm Captain America. Like that was a really cool moment
yeah,
that I enjoyed. We've already talked about it. Wanda becoming the Scarlet Witch, and her costume. Those felt like really big earned moments
yeah.
that I really enjoyed.
There's a few things in the What If series that were pretty
Oh
fun.
yeah, yeah.
Just trying to think where to kind of start
Well,
with.
I think the whole two episode finale where they tied together all those different episodes and picked someone, from each multiverse. That felt like a really satisfying way to end that, because, we were like, well, are we like, why should we care about these folks? Like, it's an interesting story about Captain Carter or this or that, but like, what's the deal with these folks? It's like, oh no, we're gonna see him again, and I really think probably the Doctor Strange variant in the What If
Yeah,
series he was probably the MVP of that whole thing.
yeah, that's true. There was some like you know other things like the What If where Thor was an only child, and things that kind of like panned up with that, but it's more of a comedy. What if Ultron won, and stuff with the Watcher was kind of cool, and seeing all that interweave. But I think you're right. The What If series has definitely like fun moments, and
Yeah.
I think like a lot of the Hawkeye stuff when it comes to the Arrow play was quite fun. A couple of episodes had some really kind of good action sequences with that, because that's something I wanted to see a bit more. It's like some fun action slow mo sequences that we've seen in the past.
Yeah, we did. All around, I think we had some really good action. The opening aerial battle in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yes.
Certainly, the action in the new Spider-Man movie, I think went next level for what we've seen from Spider-Man movies. So yeah, we've had some really really good action
Yeah.
scenes. And the flip side of that is, now that we're doing these Disney Plus series, like it doesn't just have to be like explosions.
No.
Uh, like we can actually like listen to our characters talk, and I think, um, when you talk about like the Clint Barton stuff in Hawkeye and that being grounded, and like the scene where Kate has to translate for him because he's talking
Yeah.
to his kid, and over the phone, and he's missing Christmas, and like that was like some really powerful stuff.
Yeah, that was
And
pretty
they did
heartfelt.
they did a great job with that. Um I think, you talk about the therapy scenes in um
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Captain Winter Soldier, and then I think even probably a bigger one is the flashback to Wakanda with Bucky, and
Yeah.
learning about how he was deprogrammed. Like I think that was something that we kind of wanted and needed to see.
There are also a
And
few
I'm
like
glad we got that.
little bits here and there with explaining what happened, and this has been great. Explaining what's been going on whilst the blip was
Yes,
on.
who got blipped, who didn't. Like
Was
even recently, like in Hawkeye, learning that Yelena got blipped.
yeah, the same thing we learned with Monica Rambeau in
Right.
WandaVision. I can't remember, was it her mum that got blipped? No, she got blipped whilst her
She
mum
got
was.
blipped and her mom died while she
Yeah,
was blipped. Yeah.
it's these impacts that are just so kind of so important as to like
Yeah.
how was everyone else kind of dealing with it,
Yeah.
all these
Like
people at back home.
anytime 2018 gets put on the screen, I'm just like, "Oh no.
Uh-oh, people are going.
Someone's about to get snapped." It's like, it's like there was a lot going on, like in the 5 minutes before the blip.
Yeah,
Like
that's true.
it would be interesting to see someone do like a cut of like sort of the battle in Wakanda. Ant-Man's doing his thing. Monica was in the hospital. Yelena was trying to free that Black Widow, who was actually free the whole time. There was a lot going on right before the blip.
Yeah. Yeah. And I hope I kind of hope there's more of this stuff, like whether or not this will be touched on in other films, maybe they'll just move away from it. Who really knows with that?
Yeah, I mean, they've got so many characters and so many stories to tell. It's like the blip has impacted everything. So and we're gonna get introduced to new characters. So it's like, well, what did the blip affect Moon Knight or She-Hulk or
Yeah,
Blade or any of these
exactly.
folks? Like we don't know what's our starting point for this.
I was just thinking, like, of the various different types of series and films of last year. I mean, actually, we'll go with the series. Which of the series of last year do you think you'd want to see more of a season 2?
Probably Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I think that's a good
I,
shout.
I, I think that one works the best as an ongoing series. I think they've tried to set it up that way. Like WandaVision was a very one-off thing. I don't know. I mean, Loki, I have a ton of unanswered questions, but
Yeah.
it feels like they're going in a different direction with Kang. But we'll see. I just think Sam and Bucky, like, that's like a solid duo going forward. Like, I think Kate's gonna need to go off and do her own thing and form the Young Avengers. So
Yeah.
I don't know that there's necessarily a need for a Hawkeye season
No.
2. I'm not sure that that's where that story goes.
Well, do you think they've closed the book on that one because they've gone right, okay, well, one of the biggest things is closing the book on Ronin, which
Right.
they've done that. Closing the book on why Yelena wanted to kill Clint, they've closed the book on that one. The fact that he wanted to get home and be like more of a family man, they've kind of closed the book on that. But what
Right.
they may have left open is the idea that he could teach Kate some stuff and kind of set something up in the future with. I don't know if he would have any input to kind of set up the Young Avengers. Is he now
Yeah.
going to be living with her? Is she going to be living with him? Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, it feels like they're setting up the handoff
Yes.
for her to take over the Hawkeye mantle and for Papa Clint to retire.
Yeah.
But so something's gonna happen. He's gonna get dragged back in one more time.
Oh yeah.
Because I feel like they keep dragging him back in. He tried to retire after Age of Ultron.
Yeah, he did.
How did
really
that work
did.
out for him?
Not good. I think
Not so good.
I think you're right. Like, the Falcon and Winter Soldier, I kind of feel like they'll probably go down the route of, because they're doing a fourth Captain America film with what will probably be Sam Wilson's Captain America with
Right.
And will in the case of Winter Soldier make it his own series? I don't know. I kind of feel like again the series had its own end point, but to start a new threequel with those two probably seems more logical for the film side of things. They'll probably look over the numbers and see whether or not they wanted to do a film version. Loki kind of works for me as a season 2 if and it does depend on how they want to set up the buddy system with that, and whether or not Loki is going to start working for the TVA in
Right.
this
The
other
new TVA.
the new TVA in this other multiverse, or is there something going to be set up where he has to involve himself with more multiversal activities, like whether or not at the end of Thor it sets up something that becomes multiversal, and that will then put them back together as a buddy, Thor and Loki having to try and take down Kang, or is it going to be and with others as well, or is it going to be a case that they'll do a series 2 and there will be him and Sylvie are going to pair up to try and take down Kang in some sort of, or Sylvie taking over power where she is and is looking to, there's so many things with Loki they could go, so many questions, but it could be with a lot of these series go movie or stay as a series. WandaVision I think is completely done. I don't think there's any need to return to that, but that I guess with what is he called, we could see Vision in something like Armor Wars, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh God, you just do not know. You do not know where they're going with this.
Yep. So much speculation. They've got a lot of characters to tend to. Um, I think very excited. What's the next? Do we even know what the next Disney Plus release is?
I think it's
Is
Moon
it
Knight.
is it Moon Knight?
Yeah, it's either Moon Knight or
Oh,
She-Hulk.
let me see what the next Disney Plus.
Yeah, released 2022. And She-Hulk. Yeah, what is that?
Yeah, it says Moon Knight TBD 2022. All right, so yeah, it looks like it's yeah, and so Miss Marvel is summer 2022. Um, She-Hulk TBD.
Yeah, She-Hulk was wrapped earlier than Moon Knight, so it could be a case it's She-Hulk over Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Apparently, She-Hulk wrapped in late August and mid-October wrap for Moon Knight. So I would say She-Hulk then Moon Knight
Yeah.
if I was to hazard any kind of guess.
Yeah, it looks like it's those two. I didn't realize Moon Knight was that far along.
No.
Because I feel like they've been talking about Miss Marvel for forever. But looks like that one's coming in the summer. We've got the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, which will be Christmas 2022. And then all the rest, like Secret Invasion, Ironheart, Armor Wars, Echo's getting her show, Agatha, I Am Groot, Marvel Zombies. Yeah, like it's all TBD.
Yeah.
But lot of good stuff coming our way.
A lot of exciting things. Lots of exciting possibilities on stuff. Of the films last year, what would you be more like? What are you most excited for, sequel wise, or kind of the future of those franchises?
I mean, it's just it really is Spider-Man for me, just because I do like where we're going with this kind of hard reset in universe and opening up the possibility of seeing some villains we haven't seen before, like Scorpion, Black Cat, the possibility of that, the Venom symbiote. I just feel like there's so many great Spider-Man stories to tell. He's got such a great rogues gallery. They're not going to be running out of good material anytime soon with Spider-Man.
I think for me, I'm interested. I mean, films last year we had Eternals, Shang-Chi, and Black Widow, as well as Spider-Man. You're right, Spider-Man's more interesting for the point of like where they plan to take the character, and it's kind of like a back to basics, which I think is gonna be great to see, like how Tom Holland tackles it. I know he's taking a break from it, but it would be kind of good to like support a new threequel with it before he before he gets too older than he is, and still can like leap around. And there's been rumors that maybe they'll continue the I don't know if they were behind the Amazing Spider-Man 3 or kind of like trying to do a fourth Tobey Maguire. I think people would love to see them. I just don't think Sony will make them.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
We'll see.
Unless there was
we'll see.
Yeah, unless there was a call to make some kind of, I don't know, cross-platform series where for some reason Tom Holland's Spider-Man goes into a multiversal thing and they have to work together, and then there's other Spider-Verse characters come into it as well in order to kind of bring more people to it. Would it be a Disney Plus or a Sony streaming service? I don't know. I don't want to hazard a guess or go down that rabbit hole. But from last year, Eternals, I don't think there's a great need for, especially from me, to see anything more from it. But from Blade and Black Knight having potential moments towards the end, that's the only thing from that I'd be most interested in. How Shang-Chi is involved with a sequel that could bring him close to Iron Fist and a new Iron Fist be put into the MCU, I'm slightly interested. But I think for me, it's seeing more Yelena, and whether or not they'll kind of make something around Yelena being the next Black Widow. They could, would they call the sequel Black Widows? and it's there. Oh, no, probably not actually. And whether or not we would see David Harbour back as Red Guardian doing some stuff, or whether or not as well we'd see Rachel Weisz. No, whatever happens to Rachel Weisz. I can't remember. Did she die at the end of it? No, she didn't. She was alive. Was she alive? Did she die?
No, she's
alive. She's alive.
Yeah.
And seeing like the future of that, and like how she develops, and whether or not Yelena will go into less out of the mercenary business and more into the hero business. That is again something to be seen. She's still evolving and growing. She didn't kill Barton, which again is kind of good for the evolution, the kind of maturity of the character. So yeah, maybe that's going to be like where I'm more interested in with that. Is there anything?
I have one burning question.
Yes.
For 2022. How many more times will we get trolled with Mephisto teases before we finally see this guy?
I got to be honest. I think this is going to go on for years.
They're probably going to set him up as like the big bad for like Phase 7.
Yeah. It makes
like
so much sense.
They've got to defeat Kang, and then like we'll spend like 8 years with like Galactus, taking his time to show up to Earth, and then like they'll bust something, defeating Galactus, and then like Mephisto will get freed. It'll be something like that.
I really hope that they do that over the next 20 years, because I really got to be honest. I want to see as much Marvel stuff before I exit this mortal plane, because it's been very exciting. I think from the point of like we've had COVID, and the COVID times we've had some really decent TV shows, Marvel TV shows, and we've had some okay films. But there's a future that I really like to kind of see with how things evolve. Getting Fantastic Four, seeing X-Men come back, but at least X-Men done, well, I say done right, but done better, done more Marvel-ish.
I would say with more consistency and appreciation for the source material.
Yes.
Which I don't know that Fox ever really
cared about,
trusted.
Yeah.
what they were doing with X-Men, and like Kevin Feige actually seems to like understand things like timeline and consistency.
Yeah.
which I think the X-Men, like that timeline was a mess.
Oh god, yeah.
By the end of things. So I'm okay with the hard reboot of the X-Men. I think Fox, you had your chance there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as much as I love Hugh Jackman, it's time to restart. And to be honest, I think the X-Men have such great stories in the comics, but it is kind of a soap opera with those mutants and their house.
Yeah.
And I think in general, I think that those stories tend to do better in a serialized format like a TV show versus a one-off movie.
Yeah.
Which is why so many of us still look back at X-Men the Animated Series so fondly. Yeah.
Because it was, even for animated standards, it was a gritty show.
Yes.
And tackled real issues and things. I mean, right very early on, there was like the way that Wolverine reacted to losing Morph, and that was like very early on.
They kill a character in the first episode. You've got all these, like the mutant rights stuff, and like maybe you could watch that now, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, like all that messaging all holds up and is still true today. Like the stories they were trying to tell, and get you to think about the world and discrimination and all those things through the the lens of these mutant superheroes. Like all that stuff is still necessary to hear today.
Yeah, I think that we're in for a good year next year. We're definitely in a good year.
We're in for a great year. We got some good characters coming to the screen, and some big movies coming up, and we're going to see a lot of old friends. And we're not done. There's still a bunch of really important people like Thor and the Guardians that we haven't seen post Endgame, and that we need to check up on. So, and what is Nick Fury doing on that spaceship? We will find
Yeah.
out in Secret Invasion.
That we just want to find out what are you doing on that ship? There's been so much stuff that's been happening on Earth.
Yeah.
What are you been doing?
Yeah. Why are you hanging out in space, Nick?
Right, that has
What's going on?
that's been a nice little show talking about the MCU, our favourite moments of 2021. Let us know in the comments of the YouTube video and various different places. What's your favourite moments of the MCU in 2021, and are you excited as we are in 2022? Dan, any final things to add? Was that you covered?
No, just wishing everybody a happy new year, and we will see you in 2022.
And I share that sentiment and see you again very soon. Bye bye, everybody.